Be happy, be healthy, be your best.
So we're going to talk in this session about your vagus nerve and vagus management. And this is a really important thing to get a good concept of, because it's kind of like thinking about an iceberg. When you have an iceberg, you only see so much of it above the water, and then a large amount, 60 to 70%, is below the water. Well, your vagus nerve that runs through the body actually is in control of a lot of the things that you don't even think about. And it also has a very basic survival reaction to stress, trauma, different things like that in life. And it actually, over a lifetime, can start influencing to a great degree on how the conscious part of your brain works in reaction to the subconscious that really has the most to do with the vagus nerve. So you want to do things in daily living that really support your vagus nerve. Runs down through the body, has a big impact on the stomach, digestion, and like I said before, it has a lot of impact also on the way that we think, the possibilities that we see, just our general reaction to life can be really influenced by the vagus nerve a lot. So it's something that you want to take care of. Now, what can you do to take care of it? Well, there's a number of things that you can do. There are things like time in nature. So when you take a walk in the forest, when you are by a waterfall, when you go to the beach, when you even just sit in your backyard in bare feet on grass, just sit in a chair and just relax for a little bit, this can have a really, really good reaction with your vagus nerve as far as calming it and just getting your whole nervous system to just decompress some and have it be more where you aren't in just fight or flight. So, time in nature is one thing. If you can get out in nature and take a walk, even if every morning when you get up, when the sun is coming up, if you were to go outside and for 10 minutes take a walk when the sun is coming up, a silent walk, not with headphones in with music, not listening to a podcast, not having it be where you are walking your dog and talking to your dog, just a silent walk to just take in what you see, what you hear, what you feel, what you smell, what you taste, just the environment around you. This can really have a good effect on the vagus nerve. Another thing that you can do is breathing exercises. The large amount of our society just does what's called bunny breathing. It's just a very shallow breathing that's just kind of, if you actually pay attention to how you breathe, you're actually just breathing quickly and not getting down below the diaphragm area. Whereas doing some deep breathing, it's called belly breathing, where you're breathing in and actually feeling it go down lower in the gut and then exhaling. You can actually do some research on Google and look up breathing exercises for the vagus nerve. And you can find ones that give you the amount to breathe in, the amount to pause, the amount to breathe out. And it's really pretty amazing because even just about 5 minutes of doing that, and you can feel the effect in your body, which is a calming, a recentering, the ability to just think a little more clearly. And that is your vagus nerve relaxing and getting it where your nervous system on that level is just decompressing. So we talked about time in nature. We talked about breathing exercises. Another thing is humming. Humming actually stimulates the vagus nerve behind the voice box. It's kind of like a guitar string. It kind of vibrates. And so when you're humming or singing, it actually stimulates the vagus nerve in a very good way. And it doesn't matter if you sing on tune or if you hum on tune or if you just feel like you're a lousy singer, just do it anyway, because it's actually very, very good for your nervous system, that vagus nerve. Another thing is to just analyze the stressors in your daily life. Sometimes it takes just sitting down for a few minutes and seeing, what are those triggers in your daily life but get it where you're bunny breathing, that get it where you feel your body tense up and you know that that vagus nerve is going into just a fight or flight and the primal brain is kicking in and the frontal cortex isn't able to concentrate as well. And you know that you're in a state where, here again, you need to sit down, do some breathing, take a walk around the block, do whatever you have to do to calm down the vagus nerve. But recognizing those stressors and possibly starting to monitor to not have as many of those stressors is something that can really help. It can even be sometimes your own personal habits. I know for myself, the days that I'm running late and I have to rush to work to get there because I've had the grandbabies at home and my mom needs something and whole 9 yards, and I go out the door and I forgot my keys and I got to run back in and get my keys and get in the car and then there's traffic. That is a day when my vagus nerve is a lot more like this, where if I get up a little bit earlier and I have my relaxful morning, my keys are set out, everything's done, I get to leave that 10 minutes early, I'm not rushing in traffic. I know for a fact that when I get to work, there is a big difference in how my vagus nerve is feeling as opposed to the stressed out because of the stress that I've inadvertently put on myself in the morning. Just one example, but you can have other things that are in your case or something that you actually have to start monitoring and maybe addressing to change some lifestyle habit changes can really help the vagus nerve. So daily care. This isn't something where Monday through Saturday you're just a rush wreck and then all of a sudden on Sunday you decide, oh, I'm just going to take care of my vagus nerve today. It does help if you have a day off that has more rest, some things that you enjoy doing, but you really do want to get more in the case of on a daily basis, starting to be mindful of taking care of that vagus nerve in your nervous system. And it's going to have a positive effect on the whole body. Part of that can be setting boundaries. Sometimes setting boundaries on stress, sometimes in the case of relationships. Sometimes there's times where you have to set some boundaries if somebody is getting to the point where you're like, I don't know whose toes I'm feeling, mine or yours, because you feel like they're in your space so much that that's causing a stress in your life, or other boundaries that need to be set. We all have ones at times that come up with family members, friends, just different things that have to be done. So be conscious of possibly setting boundaries on stress that make it where that contributes to also being able to do those lifestyle changes better and having those other positive things that we talked about. Another thing is Inner Voice and Mind Sync. That's two programs that we offer through our office in person or over Zoom. And these are programs where you actually end up emailed to you recordings with tones that take about 10 minutes in the morning or in the evening that actually help to calm the brain and actually assist the nervous system on a level in a brain to just defuse the nervous system and help you day to day to make the progress that you need to make. Because remember I said the vagus nerve runs behind here when you hum? Well, when we record your voice, it records what's upset in the vagus nerve and then sends the tones to help balance it out and help you with stress on a day-to-day basis. This is something that can be very powerful and helpful to you. Just get a hold of us through the information down below, and that's something that we could do with you over the phone. And then one of the other things that can really help the vagus nerve is gargling. Having water in the mouth and just gargling really deeply for just a number of seconds, there again goes down into the part of the throat that is sitting and having that vibration and tone massage that vagus nerve. So that's another thing that you can do on a daily basis that is highly effective. And it doesn't matter how young you are or how old you are, it's something that can be done daily and that can help the vagus nerve. So these are just a few tips on how you can help that part of your nervous system that's the iceberg under the water. And yet these are things that you can do in a practical way. Maybe vary them up from day to day. Try one day, one another day. Get in a routine of doing 2 or 3 of them a day and see how it starts to have a really good effect on your nervous system. Your digestion can improve, your sleep can improve. Just in general, your whole mood can be lifted by taking care of your vagus nerve and doing some good vagus management.
best. Be happy.